Um, just give me one moment. Let me get some green screen going for you. Okay, welcome to Codes of Harmony. This is going to be a brief message. Brief channeling connected to. Hold up. Just sort this out. Okay, that's it. Hi, welcome to Codes of Harmony. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all that you are. The channeled message today, which I guess almost sounds like part of a conversation, is I'm not saying I'm a saint, though competition makes me feel like a sad girl. I'll repeat that for everyone. Not saying I'm a saint. Competition makes me feel like a sad girl. And I've got a few cards with me. I don't know, I didn't want to call this a story time, but this definitely links into, like I always say, certain messages come through certain channels for a reason. And I've been thinking a lot recently about competition and how much I detest competition. And I've been doing lots of shadow work, lots of inner child healing, and lots of memory recall. This may be something that you feel drawn to do. I feel like this is something that is happening for the larger collective, for the whole, for all of us on some level, is doing almost like a revision, a soul review, if you would. The image that I'm using today is a painting, an old painting connected to what is known historically as the War of the Roses. You may feel drawn to look into that, um, which is connected to certain lineages battling. Please give me clear and divine guidance that will be most beneficial for everyone involved. It's actually interesting, they recently put out a remake of this movie, which was called The War of the Roses, but it was kind of like a contemporary comedy drama, comedy, romantic comedy. And they've recently put out a new version of it with that amazing actor that plays Sherlock Holmes in one of the renditions. Please give me clear and divine guidance that will be most beneficial for everyone involved. Just give me a moment. I'm going to cover my crown. Yeah, so competition makes me feel really icky, like really irksome, really uncomfortable in a way that I'm only beginning to understand on a much deeper level. Like I've been planning on working up to opening this conversation here for some time and really been thinking about it over the weekend. And even now, just like talking about just saying the word competition is making me feel uncomfortable. You may feel like this may be something that you resonate with, or you may be on the polar opposite end of the scale, and you may be somebody who quote unquote thrives in competition and finds competition to be a driving force, right? I'm starting to remember a lot of the competitions that I was involved in or placed in throughout my younger years, my childhood and my teenagehood, and realizing that pretty much any competition that I went in, no matter what the subject matter was when I was younger, I excelled, like did very well. And I remember how uncomfortable I felt at the very like human base reactions to my succeeding, accomplishing, or doing well in these competitions. I know that competitions are a way of learning, and I know that it has a lot to do with me being a woman, with the vessel I was born into, with the identity markers that I hold, with the power that I carry within. And it just, Spirit's wanting me to talk about this at this time because it's something that is very present in the collective. And maybe a lot of star seeds, a lot of quote unquote chosen ones, a lot of gifted magical beings, regardless of how they identify with that magic, feel the same. And there's something even grosser, even more disgusting about competition between gifted beings. Please make clear, divine guides, be most beneficial for everyone involved. I was thinking and talking to a friend recently about this public speaking competition that I was in when I was younger, in primary school. So quite young. And how well I did at that, and the reaction of the other kids, the reaction of the other parents, even the reaction of the teachers in my school to me doing so well at that, and how uncomfortable that was. I remember winning the swimming competition at my primary school. You know, every year there's like a swimming carnival in most primary schools. And I remember winning a swimming competition. I think I actually won 2 that year. And if and then from that you get asked to go to the state competition between all of the schools. I don't know if it's done in states or in regions. Maybe I'm being asked to share these memories and stories because maybe there are understandings and memories that are coming forward to you, the collective, the listener, the truth seeker, that have particular memory codes that will help you in your spiritual journey and in your awakening and in your reclaiming and taking of your power and your place. As certain people need to be in certain places, in certain frameworks, in certain organizations, in certain locations, for us to continue unlocking new earth, right? I remember being on the debate team in high school, and I remember being specifically asked to join it by a teacher, and then all of the other people in the debate team being, except for one girl, being like visibly annoyed by my by my skills in the debate, in the debates that we again were put in competition with other schools from the city that I grew up in. And then one of the people leading or teaching the debate team wanted to make me the captain of the debate team. And then there was an argument, like a huge, and one of the other debaters left the group, and just how for some reason the person I am, so many people just seem to struggle to be able to acknowledge that I'm good at something or that I'm gifted. Just the idea of me even being a challenge to their position seems to make people so angry and so gross and just drop into the lowest form and frequency of themselves. So I learned very clearly about the horrors that can be brought out in people when they are in competitions, and particularly in competition with me. And looking back, the teams that I was placed on, or the competitions I was put in, the teachers, the principals, the coaches, they didn't seem to consider the fact that I was almost always the only black person in these competitions. I was often one of the only Indigenous First Nations people, definitely who also has brown skin, in these competitions and spaces. And when I was younger, I would have been considered from a lower class than almost all of them. And these teachers were always fascinated and some infuriated by throwing me into these academic shark pools and watching me thrive and watching me shock the room, you know? Anyways, they're just some thoughts. Let me pull a few cards for you. Please give me clear and divine guidance that will be most beneficial for everyone involved. Competition makes me feel like a sad girl. Okay. Oh, how about before I pull probably just one card because I need to go somewhere. of the tarot, why don't I pull you, the collective, a card from the Lenormand deck? The Lenormand tarot deck, I guess it's more of an oracle deck of cards, is a French oracle deck that has little poems in it. Let's see what comes through. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Please give me clear and divine guidance to be most beneficial for everyone involved. Number 33, the key. If you have the chance to have this key at your side, right from the start, your life shall flow according to the desires of your heart. And under the Lenormand tarot deck or oracle deck, we have number 6, clouds. The dark side of the clouds is a disturbing sight, as you can see. But where the sky is shining through, a happy life there will be. Beautiful. And then how about we see what Adventure Time Tarot has to say. Please give me clear and divine guidance to be most beneficial for everyone involved. By the way, you're at Codes of Harmony. Thank you so much for everyone who clicks like, shares, and subscribes, as it's a way of acknowledging, thanking, and paying respect. We have the 7 of Cups, choices, all about them choices. We have the 4 of Cups, looking and knowing what is being offered to you. The Ace of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, for the wheel must turn. And then we have both the 5 of Swords and the King of Coins in reverse. Underneath we have the Hermit card, followed by the Ace of Wands, the 6 of Coins, and the 4 of Swords. I also have been channeling a message about the word twinkle or twinkling, which you may resonate with the term a twinkle in your eye. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Please excuse. So I've been channeling also about the word twinkle or twinkling, which of course is about stars. I have a card be coming through a lot over the readings and the energy of the collective over the last few days, especially connected to the solstice. Depending on where you are in the world, that will mean something different in terms of the seasons, in terms of the change, in terms of the calling, in terms of what is calling you, in terms of what you are calling in. And so stars. And so then I started thinking about and came to the question of, why do stars twinkle? This is the question that came through with this message about competition. And this is a quote about stars and why they twinkle. Stars twinkle because their light traveling vast distances gets bent and distorted by the constantly moving layers of air. And then in brackets, it had turbulence, different temperatures and densities in Earth's atmosphere, a process called atmospheric scintillation. Because stars are so far away, they appear as tiny points of light, easily jiggled by, which I thought was an interesting choice of words, easily jiggled by these atmospheric lenses, while closer planets look like small disks. That's all I wrote down of that quote. So I feel like this makes me think of a kind of unofficial channeling reading that I did for a friend once who is an artist who had some ceramic work in a competition, and they mentioned it to me. And I channeled a message very quickly saying, and I'm pretty sure this is how it came through, even though Venus, the star of Venus, shines so brightly, that does not mean that the other stars around Venus are any less important. It was something along those lines. And that was literally a competition that they were in, of which came with a hell of a lot of money, by the way. Art competitions, the art world, that's a whole nother thing. And they ended up months later receiving the highest honors and prize and winning the competition for that particular artwork. So that's what the channeled message was about. The channeled message was to prepare them to take that win, quote unquote win, to take that acknowledgement of their artwork in their stride, and to not have, and to understand that they that all the stars in the sky are important, regardless of Venus shining brighter, right? That's what I'm thinking of when I'm reading this description of why stars twinkle. And I also feel like this is a metaphor speaking about the way that our light, the light within a person, the light of your soul, of the essence of who you are, how that also travels through time and space, just the same as the light of a star travels through many different atmospheres, making it appear to be twinkling, making it appear to be almost moving. And that is because the speed of light is so fast and is traveling across such an expanse of time and space, of literal space, of galactic space. So this is a special message connected to star seeds, to those with important things to understand about their own coding, about their own makeup, about their beingness, whether that is on a cellular, physical level, on a soul level, on a galactic level, on a spiritual level. I did want to talk much more about this subject matter, but it's like actually making me feel so uncomfortable and a little bit enraged and horrified to really understand and look back and see how how what's the word? How petty many people reacted to me winning at things throughout my life, and how sad that truly is, not just for me, and how many other people like me exist in the world. Because I stopped being in all those competitions. Not because I wasn't good at those things, quite the opposite, because I excelled and was so good at those things that I saw the most vile, petty, shameful, disgusting, gross, and unattractive behavior of humans come gushing, rushing forward, bubbling to the surface because I was so damn good at at the quote unquote competitions, that I always knew had a bigger spiritual meaning, always knew had a much larger importance and weight, and meant so much more than whatever the prize was and whatever the competition was. Particularly as I was always a representative of multiple minorities in those spaces. And it goes without saying that there were layers of bigotry that meant that people just didn't want to give me my fucking flowers, and just acknowledge that I had won, and just acknowledge that I was really, really good at that, and just acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, there might be something special about me. Heaven forbid. Yeah. Okay, let's get one more message from the Lenormand, the French Oracle Tarot deck, the French Poetry deck, the French Oracles, right? Also, women who support other women are so fucking cool. Excuse my French. Okay, we have number 25, ring. Of a happy marriage talks the ring on the right hand, but on the left it announces quarrel and a break of the love band. And then we have star coming forward, which is so perfect because we've had this channeled message about why stars twinkle. And this is number 16, star. The star is always a good sign as long as it is shining bright and as long as no clouds hide the blue sky from your sight. And there's also been messages coming through about the color sky blue. And something about roses, but I'm sure that those messages will come out when the divine timing aligns. So much love from Codes of Harmony.